Welcome to the Skeeter Bass Champs television series. Hang on, because in this exciting episode, you're going to see two teams battle it out head-to-head in the bracket format for our 2018 series. These teams from the east and from the north are incredible. Don't go away. It starts right now.
Come on, big boy. There we go. Good job.
In 1997, Chad Potts and Jeff Welch created the Bass Champs Tournament Organization, hosting amateur fishing events throughout the state of Texas. And when Skeeter Boats came aboard as the title sponsor, Bass Champs became the largest team tournament circuit in the nation, boasting the richest guaranteed payback in grassroots competition. So if you love bass fishing and you want to have a great time competing in the biggest team tournaments and big fish competitions, it's time to join us at Bass Champs. It's the Skeeter Bass Champs TV Challenge. Chad Potts, Jeff Welch from the Skeeter Bass Champs organization. And Chad, who do we have in this match?
We got our East Region Anglers of the Year versus our North Region Anglers of the Year. East Region won last year, so these North Region guys are not wanting to see that happen again.
Oh, absolutely. And Jeff, the rules, they don't change from match to match.
No, they don't change. Still 18 inches, still no nets, and still 3 fish.
And so are we going to see bigger bass, in your estimation, during this match?
I think so. The first lake that they competed on the first round was a little different than this one. This one's got different structure. It's deeper, and these guys have, they've kind of warmed up to the heat that's going on right now. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see bigger fish out of this lake.
Our anglers were issued Abu Garcia rods and reels, along with a great group of Berkeley baits. It's going to be interesting. And right now the anglers are idling out. Let's check in on their strategy.
All right, this lake here, the water's quite a bit more clear than the previous lake, so we're definitely thinking we're going to focus deep, and we're going to start deep and go from there. It's hot, water's clear, there should be fish out deep.
Here we are in our second round, new lake. This lake's a lot clearer than the last lake we were on, so our strategy today is probably going to be just a little bit different, where we may end up having to fish a little bit deeper. We don't know yet. We're idling out. We're kind of looking things over. It looks like there's some pretty deep water to be had here, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. We're ready to get this on. If you're ever fishing offshore, sometimes the better way to try to catch these fish, if you are fishing offshore, is to cast out, into the deep water and what we call bringing the bait uphill. And typically you don't miss them like that, because whenever the fish eats the lure, typically they go back to the deep water where they came from to do their process. So they're going the other way and you can hook them.
Oh, God almighty, there's 2 of them. Drop yours in there. Drop it in there.
That other one was a lot bigger.
That figures the one that didn't eat it was the keeper.
Came out of that tree, didn't he?
Yep. Gosh darn.
That was a big one.
That was a good one. We need much larger. There we go. Oh. He's as big as his mouth is.
I think it'll make it, he's skinny. Well, we just got out here and I think we've already found us a little stretch that has some fish. We've gotten several bites. Seems like we're getting bit on the top of the grass. So we're gonna try that for a little bit.
Golly, it's like, that's the problem right there. Look, them little ones keep grabbing the tail of this thing.
Skeeter Bass Champs with Fishburne is brought to you by Skeeter, eat, sleep, fish. Yamaha, reliability starts here. Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate. Chevron Delo, let's go further. Techron, expect more. Sportsman's Auto Network, dealers that speak our language.
Right there he is, that's a big one.
We're going to stick with some of the same baits we had yesterday. We did really well on a 10-inch power worm and blue fleck, kind of the old standby. This water is a lot clearer though, so we may have to change that up a little bit. I'm thinking these fish may not get much pressure, so we're going to stay big and see what happens.
Need some wind, really, really bad. That's why these fish that we're seeing coming up to these baits are not eating it. Right there's one. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, it's a good one. There's another one with it.
That's a nice one. Good job, Dusty.
Our northern team of Garrick and Dusty are on fire. They just boated their second keeper of the afternoon, but they're catching lots of fish. Now, they're out in the kind of the center of this lake. Apparently, there's a creek channel that runs through some timber, and there's some grass out here. Not a whole lot, just some sprigs of grass sticking up. I don't know the exact water depth where they're sitting, but that bass is gonna put them just one shy of the limit. Dusty, you're still throwing that rattle bait, the war pig. Give me an update. How's it going?
Catching a lot of fish on it. I have not caught any more keepers since we've left that little point over there. Still catching a lot of fish, but just not the quality that I was catching over there. You know, catching a lot of, oh, no. Drop it. Just like here, fish following it up. You know, the water is so clear that whenever the wind, what little bit of wind we've got is helping out quite a bit. It's making those fish go ahead and commit.
Great job, guys. Hey, let's take a look at our other team who just happens to be at the other end of the lake.
I noticed when we launched, looked like there was maybe a few pieces of wood or maybe some bigger trees in this corner. I see a few like isolated pieces of wood down the bank. Should be deep out here.
Nate, this is a little one. Oh.
Are you sure? I'm not real.
Felt like a little one.
Hopefully he'll measure up.
What? Oh, he'll measure.
Number 2, son.
That's number 2.
He ain't gonna make it. So there's one.
Finally? No.
I don't think so. He's gonna be close.
We're watching the Eastern team right now, and they have just hooked their third keeper fish. It's about a 20-incher. You got him in the boat. Awesome job, gentlemen.
Thanks, so.
Chris on the bow of the boat connects off of that same spot. That is 7 bass they've caught in the area about 2 boat lengths. And I gotta tell you, the bait he caught that one on looked like a 10-inch blue flake power worm. It's been a really key bait for this team.
Fixing to catch a bigger one. I think they're up here on these brim beds. Those Definitely a big old brim bed where all those were.
You know, a lot of anglers believe that in the summertime, as the water temperature increases, the fish move offshore and go deep. Not necessarily true when you have vegetation in a lake like this. And so what these guys are saying is that the fish are coming down the bank. They're chasing perch, little bluegill and little shellcracker, but they're coming down the bank and they're keying on those voids, the holes in the grass and the voids, the clear spots. And when the water is clear like this with polarized lenses in your glasses, you can actually visualize, not necessarily see the fish sitting there because you want to keep your distance and make long, accurate casts, but you're looking for those voids in the grass, and it's paying off big time.
Be close. I don't think he'll help, do you?
I
I don't even know if he's a keeper.
Yeah, let's measure him up.
Nah, he's short. 17 3/4. A couple there on swim bait. This little area right here, I think looks good.
Daggone.
This one might help, huh? I think he'll help. Might have to put a swim bait on, son.
Oh, we are in close proximity right now to the Eastern team, and this is a lot of fun to watch. They're putting bass after bass in the boat. The last fish they caught gave them a call, their first on the afternoon. And that's really important because it ran their weight up substantially. They're throwing a Bama bug colored Berkeley grass pig. I know. What's a grass pig? It's a 4-inch swim bait with a boot tail. It's a super lure, and they are on fire right now.
It's a big one.
I like that. Sorry about that.
Number 3.
It's a keeper.
Good job, partner.
That bass right there is their first call of the afternoon. Keep in mind, we have about 45 minutes remaining in the competition.
I got him. Yes.
That was almost a wreck. I don't think he's gonna help us. Nice fish. Oh, we caught more keepers than we caught yesterday. 5 keepers. We'd have a good 5-fish stringer.
Right there's one.
Oh, no, no.
God almighty.
Big one?
Yes. That Nicole. That Nicole.
You can see the northern team right here in the background. We got within 3 boat lengths of their boat, and both of those guys cast right in front of us and smashed a couple of nice keepers. One that was over 3 and one that was over 4 pounds. It looks like they're throwing that lipless crankbait, the war pig, 1/4 ounce still, and one of those big power worms, and it's paid off dearly. Their weights have gone up substantially.
Skeeter Bass Champs with Fishburne is brought to you by Skeeter. Eat, sleep, fish. Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Power Pole. Swift, silent, secure. Lowrance. Find, navigate, dominate. Chevron Dello. Let's go further. Techron. Expect more. Sportsman's Auto Network. Dealers that speak our language.
I did find it unconventional.
That's a good one too. You got him?
Oh, God, buddy.
You smell?
I don't know. Oh, he barely hooked.
I got one too.
You did?
Are you kidding me? The horn just sounded, ending the match, and both of these guys have another bass on. Let's see if they're gonna call.
That one is.
All right, Dusty threw his fish back. Garrett, he's got him. He's in the boat. That's probably gonna call. Unbelievable. What a great finish to this match. We're gonna head back. We're gonna put the boats on the trailer, and the all-important weigh-in will be next.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. The horn just honked. They just sounded the tournament's over, and both of us caught one in just the last 20 seconds. So it's just another one of those things where you just never can give up.
We're about to start the weigh-in on the championship round of the Angler of the Year competition. Garrett McPherson, Dusty Spurgeon to weigh in first. Another nice bag of fish for you guys. All right. Confirm that? Okay, let me hand this off. I want to find out just a little bit about your day. If you'll step up real quick. How do you feel about this weight? I don't think it's quite what you had on the other match, but it's a different lake. How do you feel about it?
I think it's a little bit light today. We really thought that weight was a little heavier than what it just said. But we'll see what happens. You know, we caught a lot more fish today. I think we had 8 or 9 keepers, you know, and they had to be 18 inches, and we were culling a lot, and it was just a great day.
All right, well, we're gonna bring up your competitors and see who moves on to the championship round of the overall competition. If you win this one, you moved all the way to the finals.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
All right, thank you. So our weights this afternoon were not anywhere close to what we thought we had. I think we big-eyed those fish a little bit, so we're feeling a little bit on edge here with this great team that we're against from the East Division. So we'll just have to see if it'll, you know, how it holds up and where it ends.
Okay, our second team to weigh in the Angler of the Year Championship. This is going to determine who moves on to the final round of the elimination bracket. Chris Wilson and Brian Lohr, you do have a limit. Come on up right up front. I'm going to write this down. You guys confirm that? All right, so I know you got to see those guys catching fish, but you don't know what they have. They don't know what you have. Y'all both caught a lot of fish. How do you feel about this weight? Come on up here real close.
Well, Chad, I feel like it's going to be really close. I mean, I don't know if they caught any big ones, but we just had just 3 chunks. So I think it's going to maybe come down to ounces.
It very well might. You guys made it all the way this far, though. Anglers of the Year in the East region. They're Anglers of the Year in the North. Obviously, both established, very established anglers. Man, it's I think it's going to be pretty close, like you said. But I know you caught a lot of fish.
We did.
So we're going to bring everybody back up here in just a few minutes and determine who moves on to the final round. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We feel good about our weights. We didn't fish a clean tournament. We didn't quite figure this lake out like we did the last one, but we feel okay about it.
Being on the water and watching both of these teams compete today was awesome. But I got to tell you, I give kudos to that Eastern team. They threw a lot of different baits and caught a lot of fish, but they didn't have as many as the Northern team when it came to fish over that 18-inch limit. This is going to be close. Hey, Chad Potts is tallying the weight right now. Let's check in with Chad.
All right, here we are. The final tally to see who moves on. Guys, come on up. Come on up. You guys both had a great day. Both teams both caught a lot of fish, both caught a lot of keepers. I know y'all are thinking that it was going to be close, and you're right. It was close. We are going to determine who moves on to the championship round of all of the TV eliminations after this. You guys ready?
You bet.
You guys ready?
Ready.
All right, to see who's moving on to the championship round of all of the elimination challenges this year, the winner is Garrick McPherson and Dusty Spurgeon. Guys, great job.
Good job, Ray. Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure meeting you guys. Y'all take care.
It's time for the Berkeley winning strategy. In McPherson and Spurgeon's second match, they concentrated on points that dropped into the creek channel. They used a 10-inch Berkeley Blue Flake power worm and a 1/2 ounce War Pig lipless crankbait. But the difference maker in this match was the use of the new Dredger 20.5 deep diving crankbait. And this particular bait allowed them to access that 15 to 18 foot zone where the larger bass were feeding on baitfish around isolated clumps of hydrilla. And that's your Berkeley winning strategy. Next week on the Skeeter Bass Champs television series, we're going to see two big bass competitors go head-to-head. That's right. From the Mega Bass event, John Newkirk. He's going up against the Skeeter Owners event winner, Mr. David Lane. Get ready and don't go far. I'm Fishburne. We'll see you next week. Let's talk about the bait that Chris caught that fish on, a 10-inch Blue Flake power worm. If you've never used a power worm, get some and get busy. That was so stupid. It was. I mean, I can't even describe the stupidity. I love Berkeley, and I love you, Tony.